Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have kind of a large book haul. Like always, most of the books that I have here are ones that I got secondhand, and I have quite a few that were sent to me by various publishers and authors. So let's just dive in. There's a lot of books here to talk about. The first selection of books that I have comes from the sponsor of today's video, which is Book of the Month. So Book of the Month is my favorite book subscription service, and they have sent me the June books. Every month they have a curated selection of 5 brand new releases. Some of them are even early releases. What I also love about them is they have a really great skip policy. So if there comes a month when you don't want any of the selections or it's not in your budget that month, you can skip it with absolutely no charge. Plus, their price point is just amazing for brand new hardcover books. Their service is $14.99 a month, but with my code Riley, you can get your first book for just $9.99, which is a crazy deal. So the books that they have for June, I'm so excited about every single one of these. So we have The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. This is a dark academia novel. It's a spellbinding tale of psychological suspense, weaving together Greek mythology, murder, and obsession. Then we have the one that I'm the most excited for, Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. It is following the Riva family and a party that is going to end in a fire. Half Sick of Shadows by Laura Sebastian, which is an Arthurian retelling. It says, the Lady of Shalott reclaims her history in this bold feminist reimagining of the Arthurian myth. Instructions for Dancing by Nicola Yoon, who is an author that I have loved, which is a contemporary romance about a girl who doesn't believe in love and a guy who has a life philosophy to say yes to everything, and they enter into a ballroom dance competition together. And then lastly, we have Sky Falling by Mia Mackenzie. It is a examination of the complexities of family, queerness, race, and community. A woman who's used to going solo discovers that there's one relationship she can't run away from. If you want to get any of these books for just $9.99, you can use the link in the description and my code Riley. Moving right along, I will start with my Katie Robert Patreon books. I am subscribed to Katie Robert's Patreon, which I highly recommend if you are a fan of Katie Robert. So I have 4 books that I've gotten in the past couple of months. Air, which is the sequel to Sacrifice. This is her polyamorous vampire series. Then I have 2 books in her A Touch of Taboo series. I've already read both of these. We have My Dad's Best Friend and Seducing My Guardian. And then lastly from her Patreon is Broderick, which is the 2nd book in her Sabine Valley series. And then from the publisher, I was sent a copy of Neon Gods, which is Katie Roberts' newest release. This just came out a couple days ago. This is a Hades and Persephone retelling, which I am just so excited for. So those were all of my new Katie Robert books. Next, I have a stack of books that were sent to me from publishers. So Valentine sent me a bunch of romance books. We have Someday Someday by Emma Scott. This is an MM romance that I've heard a lot of my friends talk very highly about. This is about a guy who becomes a caretaker to the CEO of this really big multi-billion-dollar corporation, and he discovers that there's a lot of really shady lies and secrets going on, and I believe he has a romance with the CEO's son, who is getting ready to take over the company. Then they sent me A Fate of Wrath and Flame by K.A. Tucker. This is her new fantasy romance, which I'm really excited about. So this follows a woman who is a thief in New York who steals jewels from the wealthy elite, and then this woman holds her at sword point and requests her services, and after that she's thrust into this magical world with elves and elemental magic, and she is tasked to steal this magical stone from a sacred garden. And so in order to do that, she disguises herself as this enemy kingdom's princess who is betrothed to the prince. It literally has all of my favorite fantasy romance tropes in it, and I love K.A. Tucker. That is definitely a book I'm gonna have to read soon. The 2 other books they sent me I've already read. So we have The Player Next Door, also by K.A. Tucker. This is a second chance guy next door romance. He's a firefighter and a single father, and they dated in high school, but he broke her heart, and now she moved back into town, and turns out he lives right next door. I really enjoyed this. And then they also sent me Much Ado About You by Samantha Young, which is a small town England romance. This girl travels to a small town for the summer to run this little bookstore and like escape her life, and it was really fun, super cozy. The last book I think that I was sent from a publisher is A Spindle Splintered by Alex E. Harrow. This comes out in October and it is a Sleeping Beauty retelling, but it's supposed to be like a much more feminist take on Sleeping Beauty. And I believe it has something to do with like a multiverse, like there's multiple universes with different Sleeping Beauties and they all like come together. Sounds pretty wild and interesting. Okay, so now for all of the books that I have purchased within the past month or two. This was like such a good find. I found this at Goodwill for $1. $1, and it looks like it's in perfectly brand new condition. So I got Dirty Charmer by Emma Chase. This is a part of her, or no, this is a spin-off from her Royally Matched series, and this follows one of the bodyguards from that series. So I'm very excited for this. I love bodyguard romances, and I really like the original Royal series, so I'm very excited for this, and I can't believe I found this for $1. I got two new romances. The first one I've already read, and that is Parker by Jack Harbin. I absolutely loved this book. I gave it 5 stars. It's fantastic. It is an MM romance. It is super angsty and emotional, and definitely one of my favorite romances that I've read so far this year. And then the other new romance that I got is Drag Me Up by R.M. Virtues. This is another Hades and Persephone romance. I believe it's very queer, and I've seen this all over Twitter lately, like all over book Twitter. Everyone in the romance community seems like they're talking about this, so very excited for that. I found a used copy of The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. I was able to get most of the stickers off of it. There's this one right here that I'm gonna need to give some extra love and care to take off. But other than that, it's in like pretty good condition. So I am excited to read this. I'm hopeful. Even though I wasn't a fan of The Night Circus, I've been told that I might really like it. I believe it has something to do with like a magical doorway to another world, which is a trope that I really tend to enjoy. So then my last stack are all books that I got off of Depop. If you are new here, Depop is like the place where I buy 95% of my books these days. I pretty much check that app like 20 times a day. So the first one that I got off of Depop is The Beautiful Ones by Sylvia Morena Garcia. This is a book that she published a while ago, but they have reprinted it with a new cover, and this is like a magical Regency romance type of book. A girl who is part of the socialites in this world, but she's sort of an outcast because she has this magical ability of telekinesis, and that makes everyone think that she is a witch. But then this guy comes into town, and he also has the same telekinetic abilities that she has, and so they begin kind of like a tutorship and courtship together. I'm excited for that. Then, okay, this was kind of like a impulse purchase because I don't know much about it, but I got Twice Shy by Sarah Hogel. I never read the other book that this author wrote, which was You Deserve Each Other. I saw mixed things about that, but I feel like I've been seeing more people enjoying this book. Oh, that's why I wanted it. Okay, it's a renovation romance. I've kind of really been into like home renovation romances, which is what this book was. In this book, like a big part of the plot was that she was renovating this home that is like her dream home. And so in this one, the main character inherits this house, but not only is it falling apart, but she finds out that she has to share the house with the groundskeeper, who is grouchy and gorgeous. So I'm excited for that. I don't know what it is about like home renovating romances. It's like I'm combining HGTV and rom-coms. Put them together. That's what I want. The next one that I got is Sweet and Bitter Magic by Adrienne Tooley. This is a young adult sapphic fantasy that is following the most powerful witch of their generation, but after committing the worst magical sin, she's exiled and cursed with the inability to love. The only way she can get those feelings back is to steal love from others. Very excited for that. Then I already showed this in a video, but I got The Witch's Heart, which is a Norse mythology retelling about this witch who falls in love with Loki, and I've heard really great things about this. Obviously, I love Loki and anything to do with Loki. I mean, I named my dog Loki. The next one that I got is The Bargainer, which is the bind up of the Bargainer series. The first book is Rhapsodic, which I already own, but since I found this on Depop, it was cheaper than buying the other books in the series as well. So this has, I think it's 3 books and a novella. I could be wrong, but I think it's 4 books that are in here. But yeah, I was excited. I didn't know that this bind up existed. The next one that I got is A Dark and Hollow Star by Ashley Shuttleworth. So this is a queer fantasy book about fae. It says that for centuries, the 8 courts of folk have lived among us, concealed by magic and bound by law to do no harm to humans, until a series of brutal and ritualistic murders rocks the city of Toronto and threatens to expose fairies to the human world. 4 queer teens, each holding a key piece of the truth, must form an alliance in an effort to track down the killer. I'm very excited for this. I'm also just like obsessed with this cover. This artwork is stunning. These are the vibes I'm trying to manifest this year. The next book that I got is The Unbroken by C.L. Clarke. This is an adult fantasy book, and this I believe is a special edition from Illumicrate. So I was very excited to find this. It has sprayed edges and it's signed. And actually the girl that I bought this from is a subscriber, and she sent me like the sweetest note with this book. What I know about this, it is sapphic and it's sort of a military fantasy. There's a war going on. The main character is a soldier who was stolen as a child and raised to become a soldier for the Empire, to live, fight, and die for this empire. But now she's been sent back to her homeland in order to quell a rebellion, and being back near her family and her blood, she realizes that those family bonds are stronger than her forced loyalty to the Empire. And I've been hearing really great things about this book, so I'm excited. It's been a while since I've read a very like war heavy fantasy book, but I am really in the mood for that right now. The next book I've already read, and I am just like so excited that I was able to find this and now have a copy, and that is The Initiation by Nikki Sloan. This is an author who I have become obsessed with this year. I feel like eventually she's gonna become on the level of Katie Robert for me as like one of my favorite romance authors. I've just loved everything that I've read from her, and this was the book that started my obsession. This book has arranged marriages and secret initiation rituals, betrayal and lies and secrets and drama, and I loved it. This whole series, fantastic. And also it is signed by Nikki Sloan. We only have 1 more book, but I was very surprised that I found this because it just came out, and that is The Ones We're Meant to Find. This already has like one of the most stunning covers that I've seen this year, but from what I know about this, this is a sort of speculative sci-fi young adult book. It says that it's been 3 years and 17 days since C woke up on the shore of an abandoned island. She has no idea how she came to be marooned or what her life was like before. She only has the rickety house by the sea, the android she built for company, and a single memory. Somewhere beyond the horizon, she has a sister, and it's up to C to escape the island and find her. This sounds so good. What the heck? This sounds totally up my alley. I love like speculative, weird sci-fi books, androids, a mysterious deserted island. Like so many of my buzzwords there. So those were all of the books that I have received and purchased recently. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!